reach a level of success.
Yeah.
So for you to say that materialism is not important, you have had money, you have had fame, you have had cars, houses, and you still think that's not the answer?
I don't. I've downsized a lot because materialism is nice and it's nice to have those fancy things, but it also comes at a price because then you're trying to reach up with that. And the main thing is find out what matters to you and the kind of life you want to have. Do you want to have the material things? Do you want to have experiences, those types of things, and that's what you want to live for. And
Hi guys, I had the marvelous opportunity to be with a chiropractor, and I personally asked her some questions that I would like for her to share the answers because I personally believe it will help any of you that will watch this video. First of all, I asked her about the period. That is it normal for females to have pain when they are in their period?
it is not normal. It's very common, but not normal.
What has that make it normal in society? Because people think, oh, you have pain, it's okay, you're supposed to have it.
I think it's easier for people to say you're supposed to have it instead of trying to figure out what's going on hormonally with women. Our bodies are so complicated that people aren't wanting to really dig into what's really going on to find out why that is, but it is not normal.
And also I asked you about, you were saying that you would say you heal from inside out. So how important it is our internal self when it comes to healing?
Oh yeah, our bodies are made to heal from the inside out. They're designed to be well. So as long as we got to start healing from the inside, eating the right foods that are not chemical ridden, doing the right things emotionally. Mental health is super important for inside out healing, and then taking care of ourselves overall.
What are some things you would recommend to take care of our internal self? Because everybody knows how to wash their hair, how to take care of their body in the outside. What about in the inside? How can we take care of our brain, our mind, our heart, so we can heal, we can have a long-lasting life?
Number one, remember that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not actual. They're not our actual thinking and being. We have about 12,000 to 68,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot, and they are not actually who we are or what we are. They're just like, I think of them as clouds in the sky. And so until you hold on to them and give them power, they just float by. So a lot of like mental health, I think with that kind of stuff is very important to just remember that those thoughts go by, and we have so many of them. I think like 80% of them are negative thoughts and about 90% are recycled every day. I might have those numbers backwards, but we don't take really care of those thoughts.
With the thoughts, for example, in success, the people try to emphasize that your thoughts create your reality. Is that true, or you think that since thoughts are just thoughts, that shouldn't be taken?
Our thoughts do create our reality, but we choose which thoughts we hold on to. And so you can choose to hold on to those negative thoughts and sit in it and hold on to all that things, or you could choose to float that on by and grab a thought that's more positive, those types of ways.
What I've seen, you have been treating young people like me, athletes, I believe. What are some common things you think we come to you for? What are some issues that we bring to you, and how can we, like if we do that on a daily basis, you wouldn't have to see us regularly?
Well, I see, with chiropractic, I do see a lot of people younger like you, and it's mostly for stress, because we're so stressed out nowadays. They have school, sports, relationships, trying to do right and succeed in life, and feeling of failing. And so it's more of like, when I adjust, we can reconnect the brain with the body, and so it helps everything function better. And so when you do that, you feel less stress, and you feel like you're more grounded, and you can take on things more. So that's what I use, mostly help with younger people.
Do you think society is the main cause of the unhappiness, failures, insecurities, people feeling like they are not good enough? Do you think society as a whole is portraying that you have to be perfect, you have to succeed, you cannot cry, you have to do this? You think society can be part of the issue why we feel less valuable?
I think so. I think a lot of it's like media and those types of things. It's easier just to make us feel lower. But if you find a good group of people, that's who you need to focus on. Those your core community. Yeah, you got to remember small communities. Those people that you can rely on and relate to. Those are the ones that will lift you up. You want to have people that lift you up.
No people that put you down. And we're about to finish, sorry. I see you guys have a lot of questions because I think this information, and I wonder why do they don't teach this in school? I used to take care of yourself from the inside, because in the school they focus on the outside, your grades, how you look, why you dress. Why is that?
I think it's easier to do that because the inside it gets so complicated because you got to it's easier to feed kids a certain lunch and not have to worry about that. But if you try to feed them like the healthier stuff, it gets more expensive, it gets more complicated trying to do homegrown stuff. I think mental health is hard, trying to get that. I think they're doing better with that, but it's harder.
When you were growing up, did you have that? When you, for example, what is something you will tell your younger self to succeed now? If you can go back 30 years, what will you tell your younger self?
Not to care about what other people think about me, just to be me and to do it, and not worry so much about other people's opinions. Or what I think other people's opinions are of me. Yeah, because you can walk into a room and think a person has this opinion about you, but they're thinking something completely different and they never even thought that. So yeah.
So you've been doing this for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are some life lessons or what are some things you have learned that have made you succeed in that path?
Mainly the mind, thought, and consciousness stuff of not worrying about like holding on to your thoughts, that the voice in your head is just a roommate. It's not actually who you are. So all those negative things that you tell yourself, tell to stop. People just want to be loved and they want joy too. So we're all going through it together, and we may think we're the only ones, but we're not.
Especially with this younger generation, and you see how social media, or you have to be perfect, you have to have the amount of life, you have to have the perfect boyfriend, you have to have the car, all of those things. What can you tell to the young people out there?
It doesn't really matter, all that stuff. It's because who says it's perfect? Like it might not be, it might be perfect for you, but you might be trying to compare yourself to somebody else's perfect, and it's not really that. And the material stuff doesn't really matter. It's if you live life in the moment and find the joy, that's what matters. Feeling good about your body, so that way you can live 20 years down the road, 30 years, into your 70s and 80s. That's real what matters. Like that man that was leaving, he was 80 years old when he first got here.
80?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
And you mentioned that materialism is not important. Well, from what I see, I believe you have reached a level of success.
Yeah.
So for you to say that materialism is not important, you have had money, you have had fame, you have had cars, houses, and you still think that's not the answer?
I don't. I've downsized a lot because materialism is nice, and it's nice to have those fancy things, but it also comes at a price, because then you're trying to reach up with that. And the main thing is find out what matters to you and the kind of life you want to have. Do you want to have the material things? Do you want to have experiences, those types of things? And that's what you want to live for. And that's like when I go to reach a certain income level, it's because I want to live this life with all these experiences and joy, not really the maternal things, but like relationship with my daughter and my son and those types of things.
Those are more important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And something that we don't get to talk about often, because we see celebrities, oh my God, they have those cars. Oh my God, we saw people that want to chase the million, the billion, but they don't know the downsides about having all of that fame, all of that success. Yeah. And when it comes to females, in my opinion, society is trying to make females think like you have to have bigger titties, you have to have a bigger butt to feel valuable. You as a female, what will you tell us other females about life?
Especially physical
appearances.
Love your body, but make sure that you are healthy in your body. If you're a bigger girl, love that body, because you're beautiful from the inside out. If you're a tiny girl, then love that body. As long as you're healthy, it doesn't matter. And people will love you if you're in the right group of people. They'll love you for who you are. Just make sure that you're going for healthy and not unhealthy just to have a certain type of body style.
And do you think because I also see too in females that we tend to compete with other females. Where do you think that mindset comes, that I want to see you as competition instead of me coming and be like, oh, she's far ahead in life from me. How can I learn from you? How can she teach me something? Like, no, let me put her down. She can't have the best husband. She can't have more money than I.
I don't know, because every group of girls I'm with, we all pull each other up. So I really don't know where that negative comes from.
But you have seen in society, right?
I have seen it, and I've seen girls hurt a lot of girls, and it's sad. But all the girls I know, we lift each other up. We're rooting for each other. I know a lot of successful women that make millions, but they know what, as long as you have joy in your life, it doesn't really matter how much money you make.
Now that just to finish, we're gonna be like business advice. If somebody want to open their own business and they are in their 20s, what will you tell them to focus on? Or want to create wealth in their 20s or teenager year, what will you tell them that they can do? If it's a course, I don't know, a book,
get a coach. Definitely a coach. Michael Neal, he writes a lot of good books. I can't think of any on the top of my head. Like 90 Days to the Impossible, I think it is, something like that. But Michael Neal writes some really good business type books. Really good. There's another book called The Surrender Experiment. I can't think of the author's name. Just about talking about like letting go of trying to control everything and letting things flow to you. That's really huge in business. And getting a coach. You need to have a coach all the time. Just like you have a coach for sports.
Yeah.
If you want to have a business and be successful, you need to find that person that is doing it and not just
talking about it,
but doing it,
having results. Well, thank you so much. You can tell them the name of this amazing. If anybody want to stop by.
This is Perfect Circle Chiropractic. We're down in Springdale, and I am Dr. Ashley Wilcoxson.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.